Hello and welcome to Misheard Song Lyrics. I'm Misheard with Season 3, Episode 119, doing my first ever Uncle Kracker. The Misheard Song Lyric is, give me the Beach Boys and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll. Let's drift away. And then the correct lyric says, give me the Beat Boys and free my soul. So, beat, not Beach Boys. Anyway, the Misheard Song Lyric today is about the cover that Uncle Kracker did back in 2003 called Drift Away. And the original singer was Dobie Gray, who made it very popular. So let's talk about the song. So Drift Away is a song by Mentor Williams, written in 1970 and originally recorded by John Henry Kurtz back in '72, album called Reunion. Mentor Williams was a country songwriter and John Henry Kurtz was an actor and swamp rock singer. And I'm like, what is swamp rock? So I looked that up on the internet. It's actually a music genre that drew more on 1960s rock than on the 1950s rhythm and blues sound that helped define swamp rock. And so famous swamp rock artists are Creedence Clearwater Revival, CCR, with John Fogerty, Dale Hawkins, Little Feat the Band, Leon Russell, Delaney and Bonnie, and Tony Joe White. And of course, this song is part of it. So what happened was Mentor Williams and John Henry Kurtz wrote it, recorded it. They gave it to soul singer Dobie Gray, for whom it became a surprise international hit and best known version. And in the 1973 version that became Dobie Gray's biggest hit, it actually peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and certified gold by the RIAA. It was also the final pop hit for Decca Records in the United States. So let's talk about who Dobie Gray is. So he was born Lawrence Darrow Brown on July 26, 1940, and unfortunately he passed away on December 6, 2011. So just this year, gosh, with tomorrow, I'm doing the taping on the 5th, he has been gone from our earth for looks like about 10 years. He was an American singer and songwriter whose musical career spanned soul, country, pop, and musical theater. His hit songs included The In Crowd in 1965, Drift Away, which was one of his biggest hits in '73, and it sold over 1 million copies and remains a staple of radio airplay. Like I said, he died back on December 6th of 2011 due to complications from cancer surgery in Nashville, Tennessee at the age of 71. His remains were buried at the Woodland Memorial Park and Mausoleum in Nashville. And he was one of many artists that I touched on in several other episodes where his material, his songs, were reportedly destroyed in the 2008 Universal fire. So unfortunate there, but his legacy lives on. Speaking of legacy, Uncle Kracker wasn't the only one that covered it. Many have covered it. There's many names, Bruce Springsteen to name a few. Michael Bolton covered it. He covered Drift Away in 1992. It was released from the LP called Timeless, the Classics. His version became the only hit version of the song in the UK, where it reached number 18. The song also charted in Ireland and New Zealand, not so much in the US. The one that did really good is the one we're talking about today with the Misheard of the Beach Boys, Misheard lyrics, is Uncle Kracker's cover. He is an American singer-songwriter, and he released his cover version from his second studio album called No Stranger to Shame back in 2002 in January 2003. His cover actually is awesome. He featured the original singer Dobie Gray singing the bridge and singing backup vocals, and then the final verse with Kracker and him ending it, and it actually did really well. It reached number 9 on the Hot 100. The song was in the year-end top 20, just like the original 1973 version. He spent a then record-setting 28 weeks atop the adult contemporary chart in the US. It also peaked at number 25 on the New Zealand singles chart, so it did quite well. So who is Uncle Kracker? Uncle Kracker was born on June 6, 1974, also known by his stage name, or his real name, Matthew Schaefer. And he is an American singer-songwriter and musician known for his country and rock music. He was what they call a turntablist for Kid Rock's backing group, Twisted Brown Trucker, and since 1999 had recorded as a solo artist. His other singles, including Drift Away, was Follow Me, I remember that, were top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. And the story goes that Schaefer was born in Mount Clemens, Michigan, with his brother Mike Schaefer. They visited a nightclub in Clawson, Michigan, where a turntables competition, yes, there is competitions, was happening. His older brother was competing against a then unknown musician by the name of Kid Rock. We all know who he is now. Schaefer soon became friends with Kid Rock, and those times he was just mainly rapping. He then went to Leanze Cruz High School, and then in 1994, Kid Rock actually said, hey, Schaefer, would you like to play turntables for his band called Twisted Brown Trucker? Schaefer knew nothing of turntables. This is where you're like, you gotta hustle, fake it till you make it, right? But since his brother was an experienced DJ, he agreed. So probably had said to his brother Mike, hey, help me with what I need to know. He only performed at live shows at the time until he began recording for Rock's album Early Morning Stone Pimp, and then Schaefer was a featured vocalist on some of the tracks. Schaefer, aka Uncle Kracker, then began working on his solo album, but he continued being the DJ for Kid Rock. Did not know that. And then upon the release of Rock's multi-platinum album, The History of Rock, Schaefer decided that it was time to release his own first solo album, which is the Double Wide album in 2000. Personally, he was married to a Melanie Haas from 1998 to 2014 and had 3 children together. He has daughters Skylar, Madison, and Troy. He also has 2 children from his, I think, fiance, I guess, sons Miles and Ford. And unfortunately, there was a little wrinkle that has happened with Uncle Kracker, aka Matthew Schaefer. In 2007, he was arrested for a second-degree sex offense charge and released on $75,000 bond. He then pleaded guilty to a lesser charge and was sentenced to a year probation. Yikes. And if you haven't seen the music video, it's fun. It's definitely dated from 2003. It was directed by Bronston Jones and filmed in Cracker's hometown of Detroit. Shows him performing the song on stage to an audience in this bright blue country shirt. Then it shows Dobie during his parts come in to perform. I thought that was really poignant and nice. And then cuts to different scenes where Uncle Kracker's working in a garage, again owned by his brother, unloading, stacking tires, scenes of him walking alone on snowy railroad tracks, sitting on an empty seat in the garage. An interesting thing, when I was watching it again, I could see a Kid Rock poster in the back, has the Uncle Kracker signage on, I think, the drums and what have you. So it does play homage of how he started his whole industry, thanks to Kid Rock saying, hey, you want to do my turntables? So I learned a lot, and it's not about the Beach Boys, but it's about Give Me the Beat Boys, and hopefully you learned a lot too. So please keep singing those songs, Wrong Boy.